Rachael Kerr was a mother, a daughter, an Orange Park business owner, a friend loved by so many, and a woman who feared for her life. She had a protection order against her estranged husband who had been arrested multiple times. These are his mugshots right beside me. But just days after he was released from jail on bond, the sheriff says he came to her home and killed her. And now her friends are speaking out. They're calling for change to make sure something like this never happens again.
Hi, that is Nancy.
Yes, my next door neighbor is she's tied up and her ex-husband is over there with a gun held to her head and the kids are inside and he just pulled the gun on these two. She's got a restraining order against him and he's over there and got her held up at gunpoint. Oh my God, I hear gunshots.
You hear gunshots?
Yes, I hear gunshots.
As calls came in to 911 in the early morning hours of January 29th.
He disabled the back door camera. He is in the house right now. I was on the phone with her. And then all of a sudden the phone goes dead.
Bradford County deputies responded to Rachael Kerr's home in Stark.
Oh my God.
It was Jillian McClellan's birthday. Rachael was like family to her.
She was a light to the darkness. She's always had a smile on her face. No matter what she was going through, she had a smile on her face. And one of the most joyful people I knew. She was like another mom to me.
That morning, as Jillian worked at Rachael's store, Loaded Tea Nutrition in Orange Park, her heart sank.
She always makes a birthday post for me, and the birthday post wasn't up. So I noticed then that I was like, there's something wrong. And by 8:50, I got that call, and they said she's dead. He killed her. And I just didn't believe it.
Bradford County Sheriff Gordon Smith says deputies found Rachael's estranged husband, Lloyd Kerr, dead near the porch door. Their 9 and 11-year-old children were home when he broke in.
He confronted the children and asked them something to the nature, I don't have the exact verbiage, but do you want to go to heaven with Dad? The children telling him no, and then he takes his own life.
Rachael was found unconscious outside. She had been shot. First responders tried to revive her, but it was too late.
And I broke down right then and there in the middle of the store, just screaming, crying, because I was like, there's no possible way. We fought this for going on 9 months for her and those kids to be protected from him, and the system still failed her.
Rachael's friends say she did everything she could to protect her children and herself, including moving from Clay to Bradford County to get away from Lloyd. But the stalking continued.
Rachael had already reached out to everybody possible. I mean, Clay County was aware, Bradford County was aware, and yet he taunted her and taunted her. She was absolutely terrified of him. I mean, for her to tell me straight-faced, if he gets the opportunity, he's going to kill me, that just runs chills.
Jillian also had an active restraining order against Lloyd after she says he tried to assault her last summer.
He put nails in my tires. I never went anywhere by myself. I had a whole crew with me everywhere I went in case he showed up.
You were that scared of him?
Yep.
Clay and Bradford County police reports and court records show just how many times Lloyd was arrested in the months to follow. In July 2025, he made suicidal threats to harm himself using law enforcement. He was later arrested after fleeing from police. In August, he violated the protection order Rachael had against him and continued to over and over again. These mugshots taken each time he was arrested. Then on January 20th, 2026, Lloyd was transported from the Clay County Jail to the Bradford County Jail to face charges of aggravated stalking and installing tracking devices on Rachael's car.
Rachael told us every day that she was scared and that she needed help.
He was very dangerous, and the charges against him were just on and on and on and on.
But despite a paper trail of problems, the next day the judge granted Lloyd bond, $100,000 for each charge. The bond company says he had to put down $20,000 and was released, with a court order to have no weapons and no contact with Rachael.
Never in a million years did I imagine a judge would set bail. It's crazy, insane.
8 days after being set free, investigators say Lloyd drove to Rachael's home with an arsenal of weapons and murdered the 43-year-old.
The justice system did not do their job, and this is why Rachael is not with us today.
Let's see what he's got. This might here.
Oh my God.
Here's his weapons.
Spread out on a table at the Bradford County Sheriff's Office.
The stuff he had in his vehicle. And Andy, Lieutenant, you might want to explain.
This is what police collected from the crime scene.
We've got the torch that we showed you, duct tape here, tools, drill, more tools, soldering iron was in there, plethora of ammunition. Here's the black bag. That is the note.
From an AR-15 to a shotgun, several handguns, and more than 100 rounds of ammo,
He had put a lot of thought into this.
the sheriff says Lloyd came prepared.
He knew exactly what he was going to do by that detailed note he left behind. Had he got them away from there in that vehicle that day, this, I truly believe, would have been a much worse ending than what we had to deal with already.
I'm sick. I'm sick. I think it's awful that it had to come down to this. I think that somebody in the judicial system needs to take responsibility for what happened. Because as far as my personal opinion, Lloyd should have never been set out on a bail.
We reached out to the court to find out why he was given bail. A spokesperson for the 8th Judicial Circuit responded by writing, "Judges speak through their rulings, and it would not be appropriate to offer additional commentary outside that context."
I don't know what he had in front of him. So I don't want to judge him for something that I don't know all the facts to what's set in front of him. Could we have done more? You're damn right we could have done more. Absolutely, everybody in this case, to protect people of domestic violence. It is wrong, it's real, and we've got to, as a society, we've got to do more.
Do you think the law needs to change where if there is a documented pattern of violating restraining order after restraining order after restraining order, you should be held without bond?
Absolutely. I think that maybe something our legislature needs to take up and maybe take that discretion away from the judge and just say, once they have violated a judge's order, when a judge says, you shall not, and you violate that, they shouldn't get a second chance.
As for all the weapons found at the scene that Lloyd was court-ordered not to have, unlike some other states in Florida, it's based on the honor system.
If you go to their house and you say, hey, I need to get your guns, the judge says you can't have any guns, it's an honor system. We don't have a search warrant to search the house.
Rachael's friends say the laws need to change now before any more lives are lost, and they want mandatory GPS monitoring for anyone who violates a protection order.
So if they go within a certain radius of the home or the workplace that the victim or a place that the victim frequents, the police are immediately notified and dispatched.
I hope that we will all work together to make sure that this doesn't happen in vain, and that we work with our legislators and the rule makers. Or if we've done something wrong in this case, we have to re-examine all of them. As I say, in the last 2 years, the 3 murder cases in our county have all come from domestic violence. So we got to figure out what the hell can we do better, and that's where we're at.
I don't understand why a judge just gave him bail and he walked out. That has to change.
I know a lot of people are begging for protection from the system and they just won't listen.
We want justice for every victim that's ever suffered from domestic violence.
And if we can get something passed in Rachael's honor, that's what I would really love.
I'm a kid still, I'm a teenager, and I watched this happen, and I've watched it happen so many times over and over again.
And her children are wonderful. And now they're left without a mother and a father.
Right now, the Domestic Violence and Protective Injunction bills, House Bill 277 and Senate Bill 682, are making their way through the Florida legislature. If signed into law, this legislation would enhance penalties for domestic violence offenders who have prior domestic violence convictions, and in some cases require courts to order electronic monitoring. We are sharing Rachael's story with lawmakers, and her friends and her family are hoping that her story will spark change and save lives.